Hi, I'm Shaefer Testerman, founder and agent of KT Literary. Last year for WriteOnCon, I offered a presentation on the do's and don'ts of querying. This year, I want to take a step backwards and ask the writers watching this, are you ready to query? How do you know? What are the boxes to check before you hit send? We're going to go down the line and go through all of them, starting with number 1. Make sure your manuscript is finished. Sure, many agents are only going to ask for the first couple of chapters. But what about that one agent who is so blown away by your query letter that they ask for the whole thing then and there? You never, ever want to be in a position of having to tell an agent that you've offered material that isn't ready. Number 2, once your manuscript is finished, send it out to your critique group or beta readers for their opinions, and be prepared to make another round of edits. Know that you don't have to make every change that someone suggests, but be willing to argue the changes you don't want to make, not just because you love the prose, but because they make the story better. This is excellent preparation for working with an editor. Number 3, while you're waiting for feedback from your critique group, spend the time researching literary agents. Narrow down your extensive list of agents who represent your genre to those agents who seem like they would like your novel in particular. And always, always double check any information that you find on third-party websites like agentquery.com or publishersmarketplace.com with the agent's own website for the most up-to-date details and submission guidelines. Number 4, to further refine your submission list, look at a prospective agent's list of clients and try to see not only what they've shown interest in previously or what they've stated they're looking for, but also where there might be holes in their list. An agent with a huge roster of fantasy authors, for instance, may be looking for a contemporary romance. And at the same time, be aware of duplicating concepts. If I already repped a middle grade superhero novel, do I really need another? Maybe, if you can explain exactly why your superhero middle grade novel is different from my client's. If you can't compare your manuscript to an agent's client list because you haven't read any of them yet, then put your manuscript aside for a little bit longer and get a better sense of what that agent likes before you query. In 99% of these cases, you'll be better off waiting to collect a little bit more information than sending something prematurely. Number 5, gather information about the current state of the market. An editor, when they're pitching a manuscript to an acquisitions committee in-house, often needs to be able to compare it to other titles that have recently been published. What are your comparables? And don't say, there's nothing out there that is at all like my manuscript, because that speaks to a lack of knowledge about the market or an attitude that's not going to be easy to get along with. Number 6, be able to describe your manuscript in one sentence, in one paragraph, and in one page. Number 7, about that one page, polish your query until it shines. Read a few blogs on hook sentences, what not to do, and how to attract an agent's attention out of a pile of similar queries. Consider asking your critique group to take a look at your query as well as your manuscript, but also show it to somebody who's never read your novel. Do they think the letter describes a book that they would want to read, if they didn't already know you anyway? Ask them what worked and what didn't. Revise accordingly, bearing in mind the above advice about making changes that other people suggest. You don't have to do all of them. Number 8. Next, prepare a detailed spreadsheet to track all of your submissions. Note for each entry who you're querying, what their submission guidelines are, and when you might expect a response. Number 9, do a final check of your query before you hit send. Is it personalized? Are you sending exactly what the agent asks for in their submission guidelines and no more? Have you spelled everything correctly? Are there any words missing? Read it out loud one last time before you submit it to make sure it sounds exactly as you intend it to. And finally, number 10, kiss the Blarney Stone and make the appropriate offerings to the gods and muses of your choice, and press send. Then start all over again with the next agent. Good luck.